Hey guys, Ivan here at ivanmana.com, and in this video I want to show you how to create ClickBank remarketing campaigns in Google Ads. Now, remarketing is an excellent way for you to target customers that have seen your landing page and or thank you page and show your ads to them as they surf the web. Research has shown that over 90% of people don't buy their first time around, and it takes them anywhere from 5 to 10 touch points. So 5 to 10 times of them seeing your ads before they actually convert. And that's what remarketing will allow you to do. A landing page is required for this to work, so make sure that you have at least a landing page, if not an additional thank you page. And if you're lost and you're not sure where to start, check out my previous video where I show you how to promote affiliate products on Google Ads. I take you step by step as we create a landing page, set up an autoresponder, and promote on Google. So we're gonna go through this whole remarketing campaign setup in this video. Before we begin, guys, make sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoy these types of tutorial videos. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell icon so that you get notified when I release new videos just like this. That being said, let's get straight into it. So the first thing we have to do is add the remarketing code throughout our website, in this case Unbounce. So if you recall in the previous video where we created our landing page and set up our autoresponder, we created this page in Unbounce, and this is the page we'll be using. So the first thing we have to do is take the Google Ads remarketing code and add it throughout our funnel. The next thing we have to do is create an audience list. So we're gonna create an audience list of people that A, visited our landing page and didn't sign up, and we're gonna create an audience of people that signed up. So we could remarket to them and we could show them our ads over and over again. The cost per click is going to be lower, and we're going to be able to reach them as they surf the web everywhere and hopefully get them to convert. And then, of course, we're going to create our remarketing campaign in Google Ads. So the first thing we're going to do is in your Google Ads account, if you recall, these were the ads we created for our custom keto diet. This was this ClickBank product we did. So what you're going to do is click on Tools and Settings and click on Audience Manager. And what we're going to do is get the code and add it throughout our site. So we already have some audiences created here. Disregard it. You will probably start from scratch. So what you will do is click on Audience Sources, and you have to select an option that's going to say Google Ads tag. So for you, if you don't see it like this where it says details, you might see something that looks like this where it says Set Up Tag. So what you're going to do here is click on Set Up Tag. You're going to select this first option. You can leave this option blank or not, depending on whether you want to exclude California users from remarketing or not. If you go over advanced settings, don't worry about this either, and just click on Save and Continue. And then what you're going to do is click on Install the tag yourself. And then what you have to do is take this tag and add it throughout your website. Now, this is a dummy account that I created just to show you the steps. But over here, what I would do is I would click on Details, and I would follow the same step up here. So I would click on Install the tag, and then I'm going to take this code and add it in the head section of every single page of my site. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Let's head back over into Unbounce, and then I'm going to open these two pages because we want to add the code to our thank you page and the landing page. So this is our thank you page. I'm going to go ahead and click Edit, and this is the landing page. I'll go ahead and click Edit here as well. And we can close that out a bit. And then I'm going to go into JavaScript. I'll click on Add New JavaScript and make sure it's in a head tag. And then here we can say Google Ads Remarketing. And then I'm just going to paste it here. And that's all we have to do. We don't have to enter like an event code or anything like that. That's for conversion tracking, okay? So we're going to go ahead and hit Publish. What happened here? This looks a bit off. Let's just drag it down right over here. Perfect. Then let's head over into JavaScript. Again, we'll do the same thing. So I'm going to paste that code here. I'll click on Head. And then here, let's say Google Ads Remarketing, just so we can reference this later on. I have an entire playlist devoted to Unbounce. So if you don't want to see the video where I show you how to create a landing page and promote it on Google, definitely see the tutorial on Unbounce so you at least know how to create a high converting landing page. So we're going to republish here. And we've published our thank you page. So we are good to go with the code. So now what we have to do is actually go in and create our audience, okay? So I'm going to close out of this dummy account just so we could tidy things up a bit. I'm going to probably close out of those pages. So once you do that, what we're going to do is head over to Audience Lists, and now we can create some lists. So I'm going to click on Create Remarketing List. and we can create a bunch of different lists. So for example, if you integrated your Google Ads account with YouTube, if you go to YouTube users, our YouTube account isn't linked, but what you will be able to do is create an audience of people that saw your specific YouTube videos or a specific YouTube channel and things like that. So it's really cool. It just gives you a good hyper-targeted list of people you can retarget to. So I'm going to click cancel because we don't have that integration. You can also select people who downloaded your app, for example, by selecting app users. You can also upload a customer list. So this is going to be a list of people that bought or that signed up to your landing page. Now, you might not be eligible because some of the requirements are that you need, for example, $50,000 in ad spend, 50,000 US dollars over the life of the account. So obviously this is a new account. We don't have that yet, but there are some requirements before you can do this. Okay, so keep in mind you might not be eligible for it right away. And then you can also create a custom combination, which will allow you to mix and match all these different audiences. And instead of having to bundle them all together and keep on re-adding these audiences once you actually create the campaign, you will be able to just create one audience out of them. So for example, you can create one audience out of people that visited specific YouTube videos, downloaded certain apps, and saw certain parts of your website. That'll just be one kind of audience that you can use, okay? Now, for the purpose of this video, we'll of course be using website visitors, which is what the majority of you will be using if you have a landing page. So let's create the two audiences. Like I said, we're gonna first create an audience of people who visited our landing page, and then we're gonna create an audience of people that signed up. So for the audience name, we can say, for example, viewed custom keto diet landing page, for example. And then this will be visitors of a page. However, we also want to make sure we exclude people that signed up, okay? So we want to specifically target basically cart abandoners, people that landed on our landing page, but they didn't enter their details in, okay? So what we have to do is we have to say that they are visitors of a page, but they did not visit our thank you page, okay? So our thank you page contains thank-you. So we want to make sure we exclude that. So we can say page URL contains, and then our landing page contains custom keto diet. So what we can do here is say custom keto diet. And then we want to exclude people that signed up. So the page contains, it was thank you, okay? So now we're targeting only people that visited our page and didn't sign up. So in fact, we could probably specify this a little bit more. We could say cart abandoners. I don't want to say it because I do, for example, if you do end up having an option for people to buy something, you don't want to mix up, right? The two. So you can say viewed landing page / didn't sign up. Now, another option, what you could do is, in addition to doing this one audience, you could create two separate audiences. And then once you create the campaigns, you can actually include one and then exclude the other. So we could create this audience, which includes people that visited the landing page and didn't visit the thank you page. But we could also just create an audience of people that visited the landing page, and then we can create a separate audience of people that visited the thank you page, and then we can exclude them once we create the ads. So there are two different ways of doing it. For simplicity, we can do it this way first, so targeting just people who visited the landing page and didn't sign up, but either way, it's totally fine. There's no right or wrong answer. So we're gonna quickly exit out of that. And if you had the tag already added to your website, what you could do is pre-fill the list with people from the last 30 days. So if you already had a conversion tracking code or remarketing code added to your website, you could include people that visited the website over the past 30 days, just because Google will have that data. In our case, we're starting from scratch. We don't have anything, so we can start with an empty list. Over here, we could say, how long do you want to give people time to stay in this audience? For example, if someone lands on my landing page right now and they don't visit the thank you page, after how long do I want to remove them from this list? Is it 30 days? Is it 180 days? In this case, the maximum is 540 days. But you have to ask yourself, would this be relevant to keep someone on the list for how many years is that? That's like 1.5 years, right? So you have to ask yourself, how relevant, how fresh do you want your audience to be? So I think 30 to 90 days is a pretty good number. That's pretty fresh. Anything over that is probably irrelevant. People might have already forgotten you. And so when you do these remarketing ads, they might not remember who you are. You might be completely new. So 30, I'd say, to 90 days is good, but you also have to keep in mind, this depends on your niche. If you're in the business of selling houses or cars, right? People don't buy a house or car within the first 30 days. They probably take a longer time to do research. Some take years to do research to find the perfect house, the perfect car. So for those people, maybe 540 days is perfectly fine because they're still looking for something, and they're not going to forget in 540 days that, hey, I'm still looking for a house. So that's the idea. You could also add an audience description if you want. So for example, in this case, we could say people who visited our landing page but didn't sign up. So just for our reference, and this is going to be our audience list. So we're going to click on create audience, and our audience is right there. Okay. So now we can use this specific audience in our marketing. Now, I was telling you there are two ways of doing it. So the second way you could have done it was created an audience of people that visited the landing page and created an audience of people that visited your thank you page. So people who signed up. And then you can say visitors of a page, and then page URL contains thank you. And we can leave everything else as is. So we said 30 days, we can leave description blank, and we can click create audience. And so now we're also targeting people specifically who signed up. Now with Google Ads, over time, they create kind of these automatic lookalike audiences for you. So if you are familiar with Facebook ads, they create, you have to create lookalike audiences yourself. But with Google Ads, Google does it automatically. So as soon as there is some data, or at least 1,000 people on your list, Google will create a lookalike, and they're gonna call it similar audiences that you can then use. So similar audiences, they're basically people that share characteristics to people of your audience list, but they might not have heard of your brand before. So it's not cold traffic because they probably share some similar characteristics, but it's also not warm traffic because they probably never heard of your brand. So it's kind of in the middle, but it gives you a better edge of selling to them because Google determined that they're closer in characteristics to buying or signing up, or whatever characteristics are of people that you created an audience for. And so you'll be able to target those people as well. Now, these are pretty basic audiences that we did, and they're enough for you to get started. But if you want to know how to create really engaged audiences, for example, people that stayed a specific time on your page, or people that scrolled through a specific percentage of your page, I cover all of that in very fine detail in my courses at ivanmana.com/all-courses, where I teach you step by step how to create these highly engaged audiences using Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics. So you can get much more data, and you can really fine-tune your audiences and really make them specific. So check that course out if you want to know how to do that. But for the time being, this is enough for us to create a remarketing campaign for. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and create our campaign. So what we're going to do is let's click go back, and we can create a new campaign, or we can go to our existing campaign and just create a different ad group, like a remarketing ad group. Either way is fine. What I would probably do is create a new campaign entirely so that we can allocate the budget accordingly. So our budget, for example, for the cold audience here, the custom keto diet, and then we'll have a separate budget for the remarketing list, okay? So what we can do is let's click on campaigns, and we can click on new campaign. And here we can go ahead and click on website traffic. If you already have some conversion data, you can click on leads. If you want to know how to set up conversion tracking with Google Ads, check out my video. I'll link it in the description, and it's going to be a little circle that's going to swoop in from the top right. But let's select website traffic for simplicity. Now you can select any of these options, okay? So you could create a search campaign targeting specific keywords. You could create a display campaign so your ads follow people around the web. I personally like to go with display for remarketing, just because you can reach the biggest number of people with display, because no matter what website or whatever video, YouTube channel they go to, you will be able to show your ads to them, as opposed to search, where you will only be showing your ads to people typing in google.com. So we're gonna go with display here. However, you can choose any option you want to, and the same concepts are going to apply. I'm gonna show you how to use them. So let's go ahead and click display. We can click standard display campaign. Now we could take people straight to our website, or we could create a different website. We can create a different site. And for example, if our custom keto diet has a special affiliate link for like a 20% discount, we could maybe create a landing page saying, hey, get your 20% discount now, right? So you're going to be able to fine tune your message and your ad to these specific people. So it's really cool. For simplicity's sake, let's use the same landing page, but we're going to be retargeting, so we might be able to use some different language to try to get people to either convert again, or for people that already signed up, we're going to try to offer them something different. So let's go ahead and copy this, go back here, and we'll just paste our website here. Now, I do like to use ClickMagick for conversion tracking, so we're not done with this website here yet. We will change it a little bit, but for now, let's click on continue and let's just fill in the blanks. So this is going to be a remarketing campaign. So the first thing at the top here, let's go from top to bottom, is we're going to name it. So let's name this Custom Keto Diet, and let's call it remarketing. We can select the countries. Again, I cover this in detail in my other videos and in my courses. So if you want to know more about what all these options are, and if you want me to go through them in greater detail, check those videos out. I'm not going to spend as much time here, so I'll just select some options here and leave the rest as default. So let's just select these two for now. Location options, we want to make sure we select this one here. Languages, we're going to select English. And for bidding, if you have some conversions, definitely conversions is better to use. In our case, let's suppose we don't have anything yet, so we can click here to change the bidding strategy, and we can say manual CPC, and here we'll just be spending a certain number per click, not per conversion. So for the budget, these people are higher quality people, right? They're people that already saw your page, or even better yet, people that already signed up to your landing page and have visited the thank you page. So I would say you can spend a little bit more on these people because they already know you, okay? So let's just say $20 here, but again, you can put whatever you want to. If you click on additional settings, I cover these options again in my other videos and my courses, so don't worry about them. They're not important for now for creating these campaigns, but if you want more detail, you know where to go. So for the ad group name, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna specify which audience we selected. So let's go to browse. We're gonna click on remarketing, and then we'll click on website visitors. So the combined list is the list of people that you create. So if you combine, remember, like I told you, if you combine YouTube lists with website lists with app lists, for example, you will see them here. We don't have anything, but we did create these two audiences. So we create people that specifically signed up, and we created an audience of people that viewed the landing page but didn't sign up. So this is where you create, where you select the audiences. So we're gonna select it here, and then for the ad group, let's name this people who didn't sign up. Okay, so we can name that like that. Now, depending on what you do here, if you, for example, select a different age, a different gender, different interest groups, this is where you would add that here. So for me, for example, I know that I will be using these settings for all my remarketing campaigns, so I'm just going to leave it at this and just say people who didn't sign up. But for you, if you want to change the demographics, for example, you want to say, okay, well, this one's for females and this one's ages 18 to 24, you would enter that all here. Or if you have different interest groups, you would change the interest groups. But for now, we'll just leave it at this because everything else will stay consistent. So after that, we can scroll down. Demographics, again, we can leave everything as is. For remarketing lists, it doesn't matter as much what you select, just because they are people that already visited your landing page or that already bought, for example. Right? So you know these people are interested regardless of their age, regardless of their gender. You know they already saw your page and they're interested. So it's not as important to select these options. If you select content targeting, I go over all these options in the previous video where I show you how to promote ClickBank products on Google Display. So check those out if you want more detail as to these. But again, we're going to leave them blank because we don't need them. We're only specifically targeting people that viewed our landing page but didn't sign up. So that's all we need. So we're going to leave it at that. We're not going to include anyone. For the bid, we could increase the bid by a little bit. So I think our bid was like 5 cents or so last time. We could maybe make it 25 cents per click, just because we know the quality of the traffic here is going to be higher. Now over here, it's saying, you know, we're going to get 0 impressions. Obviously, we don't have anybody on this website yet, nobody that went on our page. So we can just leave that blank. But we can scroll down, and this is where we're going to create our actual ads. So we can click on images and logos. And what we have to do is we have to add an image of a logo and just some images for our display ad. Depending on what you're doing, so if you're doing search campaigns, you don't need to do this. You just create a basic standard text ad, okay? So depends on what you're doing. In this video, we're doing display, so that's why we're gonna select an image. But as an example, let's suppose this is gonna be our image. I don't know where they pulled this logo from. It's not anywhere on this page, but let's just use it as an example, okay? So we'll go ahead and select that. We'll click save. And then what we have to do is now we have to actually create the images. We have to add the images. So we can use stock images. Google has an integration with stock images. Keep in mind though, unlike Facebook, you can't forever use stock images. They do give you a limit. I don't know what the limit is. It does differ, but it's like 10 to 20 images or so per account, depending on what you do. So don't rely exclusively on these stock images. You will have to create some of your own images yourself. But let's suppose here, for example, we're remarketing, right? This is, let's say keto diet. So let's suppose we want to create an image of custom keto diet again. So again, we can select anything. This is just an example. So let's suppose we want to select this. So this is where you fine tune what the image looks like on this 1:2 ratio. And then you also have to fine tune it, what it's going to look like on the 1:1 ratio. So let's suppose that's good. It's check marked now. So we know that that's that's selected. And then let's suppose we want to do this one. So again, we're going to, adjust it. Maybe we want it to look like this. We're going to select 1:1. Let's suppose we want the book in there, and we'll select that. And that's really all we need. The more images you add, the more Google is going to split test and see what's working. But for the time being, this is fine. This is enough for us to keep going. Now, I did mention that we're not done with the URL, and that's because we are using ClickMagick to track, right? If you recall. So let's paste our URL here again. And let's just do this real quick. So we are doing on Google, we're doing display. Let's suppose this is remarketing. And then over here, we could say what our audience is. So for UTM term, I like to specify what the audience is. And then for the content, I like to say placement, so we know where it's added. So for the term, let's say UTM term, that is where or what audience are we targeting, if you recall. So this was our people that signed up, that saw our landing page but didn't sign up, right? So we could say cart abandoners, basically. We could say visitors. And then we could say maybe no sign up, okay? So in ClickMagick, we're gonna see all this data. We're gonna know where our traffic is coming from. And I'll show you that in a second. But over here, let's say placement. And placement is a Google Ads token. So this one will get replaced by the actual location of where your ad was shown so you can optimize. So this is the URL we'll be using, right? So we're gonna copy this and we're gonna paste it back in here. Assuming you have the ClickMagick conversion code added to these pages. Again, I covered that in the other video, so I'm not going to do it here, and we already have it here. But if we go back to dashboard, what you'll be able to filter it by is right here. So for example, if you have Bing ads, if you're promoting on Microsoft ads and Google ads or other sources, you'll be able to filter by, hey, here's the display campaign results, or here's our specific remarketing campaign versus cold traffic campaign versus warm traffic campaign results, whatever it is you want. Right, however you want to name it. And then here you can sort by Google, Microsoft, Facebook. So that's why it's really important that we name this tool here so we can read the results, all right? So this is tracking, this, you don't have to have it to do it. Like your ad will still be approved without it. But if you followed me for my last 4 years of YouTube, you know how important tracking is and how important it is to be able to see where your sales are coming from. And this is how you would do it. So we've done that. Now let's fill in these blanks and then we should be pretty much good to go. Okay, so for headline 1, let's see. So here it gives us some ideas. Now, we don't have to have a different message. So it takes people 5 to 10 times before they actually convert after seeing your ad for the first time. So we could really just have the exact same message, and as people see our ads more and more, then they'll convert. But we could also try having different messages. So for example, on this custom keto diet, maybe we want to come at it from a different angle and provide some more information to our clients, right? So this was our custom keto diet plan. Let's go into this affiliates option here and let's see if we have, if they can provide us any additional information that we could maybe include here, right? Because if people didn't convert the first time, maybe there is some information they're missing, and maybe we could fill in the gaps by seeing what this offer is about and adding it in. Again, this isn't super necessary. It's not like you have to do it. Sometimes if people see the same message 10 times, they'll buy just because they see the same thing over and over again, and that's just how it works. But we could also just try something different. So we can scroll down here and see what we can add. I haven't gone through this, so we'll just be doing this bare. So an 8-week meal plan. So for example, on this actual page, once people sign up, it doesn't say anything about 8-week page. So people have no idea. Even if they do say sign up, they have no idea it's an 8-week meal plan. So we could either A, change our landing page and or create a different landing page for these people, or we can just have this in the description, just adding a bit more information. So for here, we could just say, let's say, get your custom keto diet plan. Yep, that's exactly 30 characters, so that's awesome. So what else can we say? We could say new. Oh, we can't use caps, but we could say new custom keto diet plan, something like that. And we could try something else. So what we could do is maybe start with a question. So we can say, want a custom keto diet plan, right? So notice how all three of these headlines, they're completely different. One is just like it's basically a call to action, and it tells people what they are or what they searched for originally, the custom keto diet plan. Another thing says new custom keto diet plan, people love new stuff. And another one is a question. So Google's going to split test these and tell us which one performs better. So that's for the main headline. That's going to show up right there. As you can see, this is what our ads will look like on mobile, and then this is what they'll look like on desktop, all the different variations. But now we have to add a longer headline. Okay, so here's where we probably want to add a little bit more description if the space allows for it. That's when the long description will be shown. So we could say 8-week meal plan, right? So we could say, get your, let's say, 8-week custom keto diet meal plan based on, we can say, professional expertise, professional nutritionist expertise, maybe. So something like that. And this long headline won't always be used. Remember, this isn't the description, but where space allows it, like over here, you can see, that's where it'll be used, right? So we're using a number here, and we're just providing a bit more information, which we originally probably didn't provide. So hopefully people will now sign up. And now over here is where we add the description. So here we could add a little bit more detail. We could, add a little variation of this, or we could just provide a bit more detail as to what this is. So let's see what this is. Okay, so maybe we could start off with a question. We can say, for example, regular keto diet plans not working. Try our new custom keto diet plan that's made for you. Okay, so that's perfect. That's 90 characters. So here we're just saying, we're trying to hit a nerve saying, hey, are your regular keto diet plans not working? Well, here we're going to create a custom one specifically made for you. So let's see if we can do something else, if we can provide some more information. So custom keto diet plan. Okay, so maybe we can say, scientific research and proven studies. So we use scientific research, and proven studies to deliver the best custom keto diet meal plan. Okay, looks like I have a gift for making these sentences exactly 90 characters. I can assure you that is not how it works for me. It's just what it looks like here. How to deliver the best custom keto diet. Okay, so here we're just providing a bit more information. The higher your budget, the more of these you can add, the more variations you can add. Google will tell you here at the top that it's excellent once you actually create like all 5 headlines, all 5 descriptions. Once you add, I believe 10 is the limit for the images. So once you actually do all that, they'll say it's excellent, but that also means that there's just more split testing to be done. So if your budget is less, like $5 to $10, I probably wouldn't go with the max number, like 5, for example, for each, just because each variation will get less clicks and it'll take you longer to see the result. But over here, let's see if we can do one more. Okay, so maybe we could provide a little more detail. So we could say a custom keto diet meal plan tailored for your height, weight, and what's the other thing? And target weight goals, for example. There you go. Yeah, that's 84. So something like that. And then here you can see all the examples of what that's going to look like. Okay. So it still says incomplete. Don't worry. It should say good shortly after we add the business name. So the business name we had was custom keto diet. So let's add that. And now it should say that it's good. Yeah. Okay. So if you don't worry about what this says, that's just Google's suggestions. You can still get sales even if it says poor. Like even if you have just one variation, you'll still get sales. This doesn't mean that the higher your score, the more sales you'll get. Doesn't mean that at all. It just means for Google, you're giving them more options to test. Again, only do that if you have the budget. If you're spending $5 per day, you probably don't want to add too many because then you won't have an equal chance of each variation being seen, okay? So we've done that. You can add more if you want to again here by just clicking those options, but we're good for now. If you click on additional format options, we can just leave all these options. I never actually played with them, so we'll just ignore that. But if you go to advanced URL options, you can set your tracking. So if you followed back when I first started with ClickMagick, if you were using tracking links, this is where you would add your tracking link, or whatever other software you're using, Volume, Improvely, Bmob, whatever tracking link you're using, you would add that here, okay? That being said, I don't suggest it. Don't suggest you guys use tracking links. Google is very strict. It's a hit or miss. They based on what I've heard, based on what I've seen, they might suspend your account if you use tracking links. So just be very, very careful if you are doing that. So we can skip that for now as well. And then if you click on more options, you can add a custom call to action text and custom colors. So the call to action text is going to be text that shows up on a button. Like for example, here it says open. So in our case, we could say, for example, learn more, right? And then this is going to be replaced with learn more. Okay, and that's probably hard to see. Let me switch to mobile so you guys can see a bit better. So that's what our ads are going to look like, right? New custom keto diet plan. So we know people are interested in the custom keto diet plan because they went on our landing page. So now we'll be able to follow them as they surf the web. So next, let's scroll down and we can add customized colors. So instead of, for example, this blue or some other options, we can change the color, or this red, for example. So, I mean, the colors are pretty fine. Like, I don't think we have any special colors. Yeah, so we'll have to add a special color code. So what you could do is just type in color codes. And here's all the color codes. Let's see if we can go here. So you can select a color here, and then you would select that code, okay? So for example, if we want, I mean, we don't have any specific colors, but let's say this blue, right? So we're gonna copy that. Let's go back to Google. We can paste it here. And now our main color is going to be blue. So let's see what that looks like. This isn't going to show up everywhere, but sometimes where there is room for these colors to show up, that's where it's going to show up. So there, in this case, that one is blue right there. It's a bit dark for me, like it's too bright of a blue, but that's okay. And then let's suppose we want to do that. So we're going to copy this, and you can go anywhere you want to. Like, it doesn't matter which website you go to. Any of these sites works, okay? It doesn't have to be this one, but you just have to get the color code. So that's all you need. And then over here, let's suppose we want to post this pinkish color, and let me just show you what that's going to look like. And yeah, so there, change the color of the button in this case to pink, okay? If we go to mobile, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, okay? So that it doesn't mean every single button will be pink. Like, this one's still black, okay? So keep that in mind. And that's pretty much it. So we can go ahead and click on create campaign. And that's it, guys. We just created a ClickBank remarketing campaign in Google. So it doesn't have to be display. It can be search. It can be whatever you want to. But here we're targeting people who didn't sign up, okay? So then what we could do is if we go to this ad group, let's go here and let's go ad groups. What we could do is we can copy this now. And we can paste it. And let's do the same thing. But now instead of people who didn't sign up, we're going to specifically target people who signed up. And we can maybe take them to a different landing page. We know that they are interested in custom keto diet, obviously, because they signed up. So now we can maybe take them to a different custom keto diet offer or landing page. Maybe we can take them to a, there are custom keto diet cookbook offers on ClickBank. Maybe you could take them to one of those. So we'll give it a second for it to update, to load. Okay, so it finally added everything. It took a while, I don't know why. But let's go ahead and change this, and let's say signups, for example, okay? And now what we can do is we can head over here. Now we have to do a few things. One is we have to change the ad, obviously, because these are people that signed up. So we have to give them something different, all right? And the other thing is we have to go into audiences, and we have to remove this audience, right? Because we don't want to target these people now. So we're going to click here. We're going to remove. And instead, we're going to add a different audience. We're going to add the audience of people who signed up, because that's what we said here. So we'll click the little pencil icon. We'll click Edit Audiences. and we're gonna select our audience here. So we can click browse, but in this case, let's see if we have it here. No, it doesn't look like it. So we just have that one. Yeah, so we're gonna click browse. Then if you don't see it, click on remarketing, click on website visitors, and click on people who signed up. We have it here. We'll click save. And now we're targeting people who signed up, but we have to go into ads, and now we have to change this. So we're gonna go over here and let's go from top to bottom. So now, for example, we want to take people to a different landing page because they signed up, right? So we know they're interested in something. So you would go in, you would change this URL. This is still remarketing, but instead of saying visitors no sign up, you would change to signups, right? So that you know what audience you're targeting. And then you would change, obviously, the URL as well. Sorry, I forgot. So at the start here, it's not going to be this one. You're going to ideally take them maybe to a different page. You're going to upsell them something, offer them something different, and then change the headlines here, okay? Then you'll click save, and then that's it, right? So that's how you'll be targeting these people now. So you'll have two different audience groups. And that's how you do remarketing, ClickBank remarketing on Google Ads. If you want to see a more detailed video, I do cover that in my course at ivanmana.com/all-courses. I take you through step-by-step in Google Ads and Facebook Ads if you're interested in remarketing, how to create really highly engaged audiences. And if you haven't seen my video on how to promote affiliate products on Google Ads Search and Google Ads Display, make sure to check those videos out as well. That being said, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.